Shalom, family. Um,
Shalom, family.
First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's giving all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God, whose name is Yahweh. Ba'ashem meaning coming in the name of, and Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Jesus Christ.
My name is Stopper Wong, and I'm here with my brother Guzano. We are the Children of the Covenant, COTC, and this is our introductional video to expound a little bit about our new YouTube channel and the direction in which we are moving. Can you get me First Samuel 16 verses 10 to 13, Baba Gashar?
God, I was muted. Um, want to mute your mic while I get it? That way,
Done.
God. Um, the book of First Samuel, chapter 16, verse 10 through 13.
Done.
Jesse made 7 of his sons to pass before Samuel. And Samuel said unto Jesse, the Lord has not chosen these. You still not muted, King. Matter of fact, I do it. I'll lock you. All right, Khan, all praises. All right, let's go back. First Samuel 16, 10 through 13. Again, Jesse made 7 of his sons to pass before Samuel. And Samuel said unto Jesse, the Lord has not chosen these. And Samuel said unto Jesse, are here all thy children? And he said, there remaineth yet the youngest, and behold, he keepeth the sheep. And Samuel said unto Jesse, send and fetch him, for we will not sit down till he come hither. And he sent and brought him in. Now he was ruddy, and withal of a beautiful countenance, and goodly to look to. And the Lord said, arise, anoint him, for this is he. Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren, and the Spirit of the Lord came upon David from that day forward.
Con. So I want y'all to notice that David was not in the house when the prophet arrived. He wasn't posturing. He was not campaigning. He wasn't positioning himself for elevation. He was keeping the sheep. So while others were presented, David was prepared. And the Most High didn't choose the tallest. He didn't choose the oldest. He chose the one that was already working. So at COTC, we begin in the field. And we're going to sound that trumpet. Can you get Isaiah 58 and 1, Baba Shah?
God. The book of Isaiah, chapter 58, verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sin.
So this is not a suggestion and it's not an option. And it's damn sure not about entertainment, right? It says, cry out loud, spare not, lift up thy voice, right? Show your people their transgressions. So the shepherds feed, but the shepherds, they also warn. Love does not whisper when souls are in danger. Love sounds the trumpet. So at COTC, we will not spare when the truth must be spoken. Can you get me Ezekiel 34, verses 2 to 6, Baba Shah?
God. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 34, verses 2 to 6. Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy and say unto them, thus saith the Lord God unto the shepherds, woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherds feed the flocks? The diseased have ye not strengthened, neither have ye healed that which was sick, neither have ye bound up that which was broken, neither have ye brought again that which was driven away, neither have ye sought that which was lost, but with force and with cruelty have ye ruled them, and they were scattered because there is no shepherd.
The water malak. So why does COTC exist? because scattered sheep still exist, because some shepherds feed themselves, because broken sheep were not strengthened, sick sheep were not healed, lost sheep were not sought after. The Most High rebuked shepherds who built themselves but neglect the flock. So this ministry will not be about personality. It will not be about ego. It will not be about clout. Our main focus is the sheep and restoring the covenant. Why? Because we are the children of the covenant. David tended to the sheep. Isaiah sounded the trumpet. Ezekiel warned corrupt shepherds. So as we utilize these examples, we will tend to the sheep, sound the trumpet, and restore the covenant. We're not chasing vainglory, invisible crowns. We're not chasing views, likes, or follows. We are not chasing applause or validation or praise from men. We only wish to do the work of the Father in love and sincerity. We are the children of the covenant. And just like David, we wish to be found working.
God. Um, Again, we the children of the covenant, man, right? And our channel is going to be dedicated to edifying the sheep in love and sincerity, right? So before you enter this platform or this online school, if you will, I sincerely ask that you approach it with an open and disciplined mind, right? The purpose of the children of the covenant is not to debate, but to edify the sheep, to present understanding with love, humility, and sincerity, and to give the sense to the best of our ability. Many people unknowingly fall into confirmation bias, right? That's the tendency to favor information that aligns with what they already believe, while dismissing anything that challenges their prior understanding. When new information conflicts with established beliefs, cognitive dissonance can occur, creating mental discomfort that often leads a person to resist truth prematurely rather than examine it carefully. And we just want everybody to examine it carefully, right? Don't let your emotion get in the way, right? Let's try to listen and analyze and seek the truth. For this reason, I ask that you do not approach this channel or any lesson with the intention of arguing, defending prior positions, or listening merely to respond. Instead, listen to understand. Allow patience, context, and sequence to do their work. Much of the teaching on this platform will be presented in structured series, right? There's going to be multiple videos in the series dealing on specific topics. And to gain the full understanding, it is important to follow each video in order. We're not going to just jam all the information into one video. There's going to be scattered pieces of information throughout the videos so that you can follow along to gain the sense. We're going to target each point as hard as we can and move on to the next point, right? Um, Clarity often comes progressively, right? And that's a part of why we're going to do it this way. If you commit to following the lessons from beginning to end without prejudice, right, you give yourself the greatest opportunity to grasp the message in its fullness. At the same time, I understand that some viewers may disagree with certain points. Religion is a touchy subject, right? We're not actually following a religion, we're following culture, but I'm giving that word for an understanding of the people, right? They may feel as if one of us maybe misspoke or misunderstood something. If that's the case, correction is welcome. We welcome all correction, but it should be offered with humility, respect, and sincerity. If you believe that there's an error, if you believe we made a mistake somewhere, you are free to present your cause or your case or your understanding, even by creating your own response and sharing it in the comments, right? So that the discussion can remain constructive and beneficial for the sheep, right? If we're making it a smear campaign and we're calling each other names and we're not living in love and humility, it's going to get confusing for the sheep, right? However, any response should reflect patience rather than aggression, and humility rather than pride, because truth does not require hostility to defend it. Let me say that again. Truth does not require hostility to defend it, right? There's nothing we can do against the truth, only for it. Our goal is to operate in love, for love is of God, and anything that departs from love departs from his spirit. Let this space be one where learning is pursued sincerely, correction is given gently, and understanding is sought above all else, right? And please don't come in here biased. We understand you've learned some of us may have learned a lot and we stuck to those breakdowns. It's time to listen and follow along. Not going off of what someone told us, but let's go in the book and see what's going on in there. Right? You got anything else, King?
I think you we laid the point down as best as we could at this point.
Khan. So without further ado, let's get into this quick lesson. Right? All praises to the Most High. We wish to tend to the sheep in love and humility. Could I get John 21:15-17, Baba Kashaw?
Come. This is the book of John, 21 verses 15 through 17. So when they had denied Jesus, when they had denied, no, Salakia, when they had dined, Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He said up unto him, Feed my lambs. He said up unto him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He says unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He said up unto him, Feed my sheep. He said up unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, Lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee. Jesus said unto him, Feed my sheep.
God. So it's simple and plain, right? If you love Christ, we must feed the sheep. But we must also understand that there is a way to feed the sheep, right? We can't force them, right? Like the Pharisees that we brought up earlier, right? Or the Salakia, the people that the shepherds that were supposed to feed the sheep, but they were feeding themselves, right? Um, I'm gonna get this next scripture, King, because it's the whole book nearly. And I'm gonna stop in certain points to make a point. This is First Corinthians chapter 13, verses 1-13 in the NLT. Love is the greatest. Verse 1. If I could speak all the languages of earth and of angels, but didn't love others, I would only be a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. So that means no matter what I know, if I don't have no love for others in my heart, I'm just making a lot of noise. Verse 2. If I had the gift of prophecy, and if I understood all of God's secret plans and possessed all knowledge, and if I had such faith that I could move mountains, but didn't love others, I would be nothing. So you could be the king of breakdowns. And if you don't have love, then you are nothing. Verse 3. If I gave everything I have to the poor and even sacrificed my body, I could boast about it. But if I didn't love others, I would have gained nothing. So you can do all the charity work you want, right? You could sacrifice your body standing on street corners for 5, 10, 15 years, and every couple of videos bring it up. I've been standing out here 15 years. I'm sacrificing my body. That's fine. But if you don't have love, right? You didn't love others, you would have gained nothing. So it's useless. It's all vanity. Verse 4. Love is patient and kind, right? Patience. Now that's something we really all got to work on. Patience. Because anger is so easy to get. We get angry so quickly, right? If people are not gaining the understanding right there, then and there, when we want them to, we get upset. For some reason, we're upset, right? We're upset like Peter. We got the nerve to be upset when we're supposed to use love and feed the sheep, right? Let's be patient. Love is patient. Love is kind, right? Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. Now, this verse 4 right here is letting us know what not to be like. Love is not jealous. Don't be jealous of somebody else because they may have a bigger viewing than you. Don't be boastful because you know all the breakdowns. Don't be proud like you've done something, right? And don't be rude. Love is patient and kind. Don't be rude to people. You're going to turn them off from the truth. They're never going to want to hear the truth again, right? It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wronged. See that? We can't be keeping records of every time we've been wronged. That's not love. If we're going to bring up something somebody did to us every time we get angry, then we're keeping records of being wronged. That's not love. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. That's really what love is, man. When somebody gains understanding, it's a beautiful thing. We should rejoice when somebody fully understands something. Love never gives up, right? That goes back to being patient. Love is patient and kind. Don't give up on somebody because they said something that you don't agree with. Something I hear a lot is, okay, have a good day. When our people, you know, don't understand what we're trying to tell them right away, they're dismissed. Have a good day, sir. You can walk away now. We no longer want to deal with you. And that's not patient. That's giving up. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful. Look at that. Hopeful. Never give up. Be patient. Be hopeful that the person you're speaking to is going to gain understanding. But a problem a lot of us have is the order of things, right? We will plant a seed. Some of us may even water it, but the increase comes from the Most High God. And a lot of us are trying to take the job of the Most High God when we are trying to give the increase right then and there. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful. Be hopeful. Be thankful that the Most High put a person in front of you to give this truth to, right? And be patient with that brother or sister. It says, and endures through every circumstance. Verse 8, prophecy and speaking in unknown languages and special knowledge will become useless, but love will last forever. See that? They're gonna, the people we encounter are gonna remember, man, this guy's had a lot of knowledge. This guy spoke in Hebrew. He was really fluent in Hebrew. This guy was this guy was that. But were they rude? Were they proud? Were they boastful? Right? Were they patient? Were they kind? Love will last forever. That's going to be what they remember the most. Nah, that brother, man, he dealt with me, man. He was patient with me. I was, jumping the gun, and I was all over the place, and I was telling him, nah, that's not true. But he dealt with me in love and humility. He showed me love. He was kind. That's how I gained the sense. I remembered the love that this brother gave me. Now I'm going to go back because I feel like he was right now. Right? Verse 9. Now our knowledge is partial and incomplete, and even the gift of prophecy reveals only part of the whole picture. But when the time of perfection comes, these partial things will become useless. When I was a child, hold on, let's deal with that. These partial things will become useless, right? Our knowledge is partial. These partial things will become useless. Our knowledge, our wisdom, our breakdowns will become useless, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not about knowing, it's about living. It's about walking the wisdom you have, walking the knowledge you have, not just having it, just to have it so that you can be top 5, right? Now, verse 11, when I was a child, I spoke and thought and reasoned as a child. But when I grew up, I put away childish things. Now, look, children are rude. Children are jealous. They're boastful. They're proud, right? We can't live as children anymore. The scriptures tell us to turn away from the old man and become renewed in the spirit, right? But when I grew up, I put away childish things. It's time to grow up now, right? Verse 12. Now we see things imperfectly, like puzzling reflections in a mirror, but then we will see everything with perfect clarity. All that I know now is partial and incomplete, but then I will know everything completely, just as God now knows me completely. 3 things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. See that? All praises to the Most High, man. We need to analyze what we're doing when we're dealing with our people, when we're dealing with the work of the Most High, with the ministry of the Lord, right? And the greatest of these is love. King, could you give me 1 John chapter 5, verse 3, Baba Kashaw?
Khan. This is the book of John, chapter 1. This is First John, Salakia. This is First John, chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
That's the love of God, man. This is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. What is the love of God? That we keep God's commandments. Now let's get Leviticus chapter 19, verse 17 and 18, Baba Kashaw.
Khan. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verses 17 and 18. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and suffer sin upon him, and suffer not, Salakia, and not suffer sin upon him. Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord.
God, this is law, right? This is Torah. It's against the law to avenge, hold a grudge. Are we keeping the law of loving our brothers as ourselves? Right? Now, back to where hold on, I had a point. But yeah, love, speaking of love in the previous chapter in First Corinthians, right? In verse 4, it says, love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud, right? Or rude. Jealous, right? We're not supposed to be jealous, man. We're not supposed to um count the wrongs done to us, right? That's what I was getting at. Salakia. And it says, thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge. So we can't avenge because somebody did something to us. We want to do something to them. because we're encountering someone that wants to talk about God and we say something that offends them and they curse at us. Are we going to match their energy? We want to curse them back? Do we want to fight the sheep, right? Or do we want to edify the sheep? Are we going to show love or are we going to match energy, right? But we're not supposed to hold grudges against the children of thy people, right? But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Are we loving our brothers as ourselves when we encounter the sheep of the Most High? Let me get Sirach chapter 11, verse 7 and 8 in the GNT Bible. Sure.
Khan, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 11, verses 7 and 8 in the Good News Translation. Before you start criticizing, get your facts straight and think the matter through. Don't interrupt a man, or Salakia, don't interrupt someone while someone is speaking. Hear what he has to say before you answer.
Khan. Hear the matter before opening your mouth. That's basically what this is, right? Because we know that, well, since I came into the truth, this is what I've seen. You could drop a video and people are on you. Instead of correcting you or trying to use love and humility to show their point or their understanding, they'll try to shoot you down, man. Right? There's no love and there's no humility. It's barely. It's almost a myth, right? But it says before you start criticizing, get your facts straight. Know what you're talking about, right? Think the matter through. You got to be cautious, right? Don't try to jump up at the chance to get your face seen because you're not in it for the right reasons, right? The prideful will fall, man. There is nothing we can do against the truth, only for it. If we genuinely worked for it in decency and truth, sincerely, we'd be in a better shape as a nation. We must use love when dealing with each other, right? I'd rather get caught on Judgment Day going over scriptures with my brothers, regardless of what camp they are from, if it's done in love and humility, rather than being caught slandering, scoffing, or dealing in pride, laughing at brothers instead of guiding them. We rather discourage and close the doors of the kingdom on our people instead of showing genuine love and humility for our brothers, right? And this goes back to David. The Most High didn't choose the ones that was, you know what I'm saying, that wasn't tending to the sheep. He chose the one that was. And we have to tend to the sheep. Let me get Matthew 18, 1 through 7. 1 through 7, Bob, for sure.
Khan, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 18, verses 1 through 7. It says, at the same time came the disciples unto Jesus, saying, who was the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Jesus called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them, and said, verily, I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. And whosoever shall receive one such little child in my name receiveth me. But whosoever shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that hath a millstone were hung about his neck, and that he would drown in the depths of the sea. Woe unto the world because of offenses, for it must needs be that offense come, but woe unto the man that by whom the offense cometh.
Khan. So two things here, right? Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. So humility is needed to be called greatest in the kingdom, right? That's what we should be striving for. Let's strive to be called great in the kingdom, right? So we should be striving to live the best we can in humility. Verse 6, however, says, "But whoso shall offend one of these little ones," right, "which believe in me," are you going to turn people away from Christ because you're not living in humility? You're not responding to people in humility? Watch this. "It were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea." You see that? It's better for you to tie a stone around your neck and jump into deep water than to turn someone away from Christ. Ouch. Let me get Sirach chapter 3, verse 18, King Baba Kishore.
Khan, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 3, verse 18. The greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord.
Khan. And this one of my favorite scriptures, man. Let's be great, right? Let's be humble. The greater thou art, the more humble thyself. What is more humble than admitting you made an error? Admitting that you were wrong. How beautiful would it be to gain or see someone else gain understanding and humility? That would be beautiful. Instead of seeing people arguing about doctrinal differences, let's just analyze it, man. Let's have a group study. Let's do how we did in school, man. Let's sit at a table, let's laugh, let's joke, let's eat, let's be brotherly, right? And let's do this thing for the Lord. I much rather be caught doing that, right? I got a few brothers that follow the Sabbath on Friday night to Saturday, and I would love for those brothers to hang out with me. There's no problem. These are my brothers, right? I don't have a full understanding from the first page of the Bible to the last page, right? And I'm sure they don't. But because they follow something contrary to what I'm following as far as understanding of my scriptures, right? Am I going to now hate them? Am I going to now be treating the sheep am I going to mistreat the sheep now? Of course not. Instead of slandering those brothers and getting into arguments with those brothers, I'm concerned about what Christ is going to do when he gets here. I rather him catch me at a library with three brothers that believe in totally different things and we're trying to figure this thing out, right? Instead of getting caught slandering and not living to the standards of this truth of love and humility, right? Let me get Matthew 24 and verse 45, Baba Kishore.
Khan, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verses 45. Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom is the Lord hath made ruler over his household, to give them meat in due season? Blessed is that servant, whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find him doing so. So, like you find so doing.
Khan, who is a faithful and wise servant? It says, "Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing." So you're supposed to be doing what the Lord wants you to do, and you're going to be blessed when he gets here, right? Who's that faithful and wise servant? What would you rather be caught doing when Yahweh Shai returns? Pushing people away from the truth because they didn't understand you the first time? Disregarding wisdom as you insult your people when confounded on your doctrine, offending others? Or going over breakdowns with brothers of different belief systems to try to get things right before it's too late? What would be more honorable? What would be more rewarding? Being well behaved when he arrives is what's going to matter in the end, right? Children need to be well behaved. And as children of the covenant, the 12 tribes of Israel, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we are to be well behaved before he arrives, right? That's just something, you know, me and the brother Tabawan had on our hearts, man. We wanna make this about the sheep, love and humility. This is our introduction. I hope somebody was edified and have a better understanding on what we're doing on this channel. You got anything else, King?
I want to drop one quick verse, and I think the verse speaks for itself, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Right, John chapter 14, verse 21. It says, "He that hath my commandments and keepeth them, he it is that loveth me, and he that loveth me shall be loved of my Father, and I will love him, and I will manifest myself to him." I think the key phrase in that one says, "and keepeth them." We need to keep these commandments, man. That's what we want to teach the sheep. That's all I got.
Cons, all praises, man. That's all we want to do, edify the sheep in love and humility. And with that, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. That's giving all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God, whose name is Yahweh. Ba'ashem meaning coming in the name of, and Yahweh Shah, who the world calls Jesus Christ. Shalom, and we love y'all.
Shalom.